that its value is 2. The question is why to start with 2, or why to start with bet, since everything comes from one source. What is the problem? So how one source suddenly become 2, and why? Why one source has to become 2? The answer is quite simple. One source has to become 2 to create. The word to create life is not really accurate because the word is bereshit, and bara is usually translated into create, but the one becomes 2 to enable infinite life. Again, the one becomes into 2 to create infinite life. What is the meaning of 2? Male and female, cold and warm, light and darkness. So how does this happen? Hari, a person who lived in the 16th century, tells us how does one becomes 2. It starts with a process called tzimtzum. Let's write it here in Hebrew, concising. Yes, one would think the Bible should start with the first letter Aleph. Yes, with the one, with the source. That's correct. So Hari tells us about interesting word in Hebrew called tzimtzum. Tzimtzum, concising, minimizing. Yes, tzimtzum. So to create or to become 2, like a drum beat, not starting on 1 with a yes, not start with the 1 with excellent. Yes, this is it. Because the beat is already 2. That's correct. I cannot find the 1. Yes, I cannot find the 1. This is it. So Hari, who lived in the 16th century, tells us that there was a process called tzimtzum. What is the meaning of tzimtzum? Is concising. So it's not just happened, so to speak, before our time in history. Concising is happening all the time in order to create or to enable new worlds. What is the tzimtzum is about? It is like sometimes we sit in a room and there's a conversations of people sit and talk to each other, and sometimes we choose or we tend not to participate in certain events. So we sit and just being silent, we don't take out words outside, we don't participate in action. But this sitting in silent in a way enables us inside, yes, this concising into the middle point inside of ourselves enables us to create. So it's not that in a way we're doing this consciously. This is the happening of creation. There is a concising, and then there's expanding, like the process of breathing. Yes. First, a space is created, then creation appears in the space. Yes. So, how a space is being created? Yes, by concising ourselves to the middle point. Then we have a space, and this within empty space, a new creation in a way can come through or simply appear. Is this concept of tzimtzum, of concising, is clear? Venus is here. Good morning, Venus. We are very happy to see you here. Why there's a need? Yes, in tzimtzum. Hello, hello. If God is the one, does that mean that God removes him, herself before creation? Yes, yes. In a way, there is a disappearance into this nothingness. Yes? This disappearance into this nothingness, which is the center, called Tzimtzum. Concising, yes, Tzimtzum. This is how Hari speaks about the Tzimtzum. Yes, to create our world or our worlds, there was a need, a primal need to create Tzimtzum, meaning to come to nothingness inside. By come to nothingness inside, in a way, a new space is being created. And this new space is a place in which all the worlds could, in a way, could appear in this empty space. So, again, the Bible or the Torah, which starts with the letter Bet, with the word Bereshit, in a way skips this process called Tzimtzum, concising, when God, whether he, she, or whatever people think it is, the source, concises itself to the middle point, which is nothing. About this process, the Torah or the Bible does not tell us. The Bible starts only from the point of duality, in a way from the junction of two. In a way, there is an invisible Aleph before the Bet of Bereshit. Yes, invisible and muted Aleph, muted Aleph, Aleph Shoteket. This is how it is named in Hebrew, Aleph Shoteket. Silence. Silence Aleph before the Bet. Yes. But since the Aleph, the source, is silent, and his silence is in a way hidden. Silence is always hidden because it's not being heard, it's not being manifested. The Torah starts with Bet, with Bereshit. Yes? Aleph Shoteket, silence Aleph, is like the space bar that we have in our keyboard. So there are many letters here, in English here, there's dual keyboard here, Hebrew, English, but there is a space bar. The space bar, yes, the space bar, yes, space bar, and bar is the first two letters of Bereshit, Bet, Resh. The space bar is basically the creation. Every space, in a way, is a potential, is a sac, in a way, in which creation or the phenomenon or the manifested can appear. Let's say, if we see a trunk, say a tree trunk, usually a new leaf or a new branch will appear from the trunk or from the branch in a place when there's a space. Yes? If there are already many leaves or many branches, it will be harder to appear. Yes, it's like a traffic jam. So it's also interesting because this is what happens to us human and in nature with animals. The animals, they always go to look for meadows. Yes, people look for the beginning of history for new colonies. At the beginning, humans used to be nomad, to wander from one place to another, to look for new space, new horizon. Because only when we have a space bar, so to speak, a new space, in this pocket, life can arise or life can appear. So this is not just, in a way, a primal or unique junction in history. It is always happening. Also in our lives, in our daily lives, when there's sometimes silence, it seems to us that something is wrong, is not going according to the traffic, to the hectic pace of life. But specifically, this silent or this nothingness enable a new perspective or a new life to appear. Yes, something is coming from the nothingness, and in order that new thing, new life will come from nothingness, there is a need of space. Yes, the absence of something is often felt as something negative, but it holds potential for everything. This is it. Yes. It's like the one and the zero. The zero is like, in a way, empty circle or empty nothingness, but it is like a nest that can hold the future life, whether it's the one, which is everything, or whatever it brings. It is interesting because usually we have this tendency to, or we are afraid, or we feel uncomfortable in silence or when nothing happens. We feel very uncomfortable, like something is dead. Nobody moves, there's no phone calls, there's no traffic, there's silence. Yes, but specifically, this silence of being is a new start. A new start. Sometimes we are so much accustomed for noise in our life. When this is coming, we think something is wrong. No, it's just a new beginning, a new start. Yes, this is also why we have the structure of 7 days per week, 6 regular days, and then there's a pausa called Shabbat when people are resting, or the 7th day, as the Bible tells us. And with the remembering of the 7th day or the resting day, which is called Shevi'i, yes, from Sheva, from 7, the sages are saying that Shevi'i comes from Shebihi, that she is in me. Who is in me is the soul. Again, Shevi'i is Shebihi, Shevi'i is Shebihi, that the soul, be is in me, he is, in a way, in English it's a male form, but it is feminine in Hebrew. So what? Yes, Shabbat is basically the soul day. Yes, it's a day for the soul, because we have 6 days, which are we move, we create, we drive, we're being active, because 6, again, it's a dual, even number, duality, yes. But in the 7th day, everything sits. Shabbat, yes, comes from Shev, to the Shevet, to sit, when everything is set, is prepared. Yes? So like we have in the structure of the menorah, there are 3 lines or 3 candles of each side, but there is one center. This is the 7th day, in which everyone can rest. This is the soul day. Yes, this is the soul day. Yes? And the 7th day, where do we find the 7th day in a human face? This is the mouth. Yes? Our mouth is parallel to the 7th day, because human face already express the structure of the menorah. The menorah does not come from nowhere. The menorah is basically what? An image of a human face. Yes? In the menorah, we have 7 lanes of light, like we have 7 openings in a human head. We have 2 eyes, yes, and then we have 2 ears, it makes it 4, and then we have 2 nostrils, it makes it 6, like the 6 days of creation. And we have the 7th day, and the 7th day is parallel to our mouth, because our mouth also sits in the middle of the face. Eyes we have 2. Ears we have 2, duality. Nostrils 2. Mouth we have 1. And this mouth is parallel to the 7th day, to the soul. Because only through the mouth, yes, this is the only expression of the soul, through the speech. Yes, yes, that's correct. Through the speech. So in a way, the soul expresses itself through conversation, through words. Yes? And the soul can unite all the different organs, because we have many organs in the human body. But the speech comes only from one source, from the mouth. Yes? Which is located again in the middle of the human face. This is the center. You remember? We were speaking about the process of tzimtzum, concising to the middle, and then we have the creation, the ability to speak. These emojis look a bit creepy, but the idea should be clear. Yes, yes. And the how do you say the tzimtzum? This concising that we were speaking about in the poem of Hari, in a way express itself in the creation, because we have the first verse, Bereshit bara Elohim, in the beginning God created, tak, 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 and then starts after 3 verses, and then we hear Vayomer Elohim, and God said. From where? From, in a way, the mouth, because how it is possible to speak if not from the mouth? Yes? Speaking? Yes. Not speaking. Yes. Yes. It implies silence before. Yes. Yes, that's correct. Because the speaking is the creation. The speaking is the creation. This is the order. This is coherent speech. This is it. Reasonable speech. This is the creation. Usually, yes, that's a very important point of the Torah. Yes, the creation is happening through the word. The creation is happening through the word. Yes, this is it. This is it. Yes. People, when they read the first chapter of the Bible, they think about biological or how do you say, biological processes, yes, of mountains and rivers and animals, like we see in the Blue Planet, yes, of David Attenborough, something after millions of years there's appearing of a tree, of a book. This is not about it. The first chapter of the Bible speaks about reason. Vayomer Elohim yehi or, and God said, let there be light. Yes, the light. What is the light? The light is the voice of reason. Yes. David Attenborough, and here we have Adam, a fine human. Yes. Yes. So when God said in the first chapter, yes, Yehi Or, Vayehi Or, this is the voice of reason. Yes, Venus, if Adam named all the animals, how can we assume he did not have the wisdom of this? Do you understand? I don't quite understand the question. If you can rephrase the question, I shall be happy to read it. The question is simple. Yes? When God said, Vayehi, Yehi O, yes, let there be light. And then the Bible says, Vayehi O, Vayehi with the Vav. And the sages are saying that Vayehi O, and there was a light. It means the light that was already. And what is the light that was already, but it's not known to us, is the voice of reason, the light of reason. Because there is a reason in everything. Yes. You mean how could Adam name the animals before eating from the tree of knowledge? Yes. Let's see. Venus says no, Zeno, he had the wisdom. Yes. Yes. Let's see. I'm trying to understand what you are saying. Yes. Okay. Okay. So let's try to go step by step and see how, if we're getting closer to your question, Venus. You're saying that Adam had the ability to name the animals, to call the animals by their name. Is that right? Can we start from here, from this point, just to make sure that we are on the same page? Your presumption or your assumption starts. He had the ability to understand death and life. This is your, how do you say? This is your understanding, Venus. This is your understanding. This is your understanding. This is your assumption, Venus. This is not what it is written. He could name the animals. Yes, he could name the animals. That's correct. But as we said, you're just moving to the side because we did not make sure that we understand what is written in Genesis chapter 1. And now we jump in a way into Genesis chapter 2, which is quite complex because while saying it's Genesis 2, it's already complex because there are few stories there. So let's return to the basic. Yes. The light, which is mentioned in Genesis 1, yes, is the light of reason. There is reason for everything. Yes. And what is reason? Linear way. From A to B to C. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. This is how we build sentences. This is how people write books. Word, putting word by word, one after the other, and there's a sentence that makes sense. This is the voice of reason. Yes, and reason is a law. Like any law in nature. Most known, let's say, is the law of gravity. if we hold, let's say, an object above the ground, let's say a pen, and we open our hand, our palm, the pen will fall on the floor because there's a power or there's a law called the law or power of gravity. Everybody recognize it. Also, our bodies, our skeletons are building accordingly, yes, to the law of gravity. But not just the law of gravity is the law of nature. Nature also works according to a divine reason. Yes. There is a very little dispute about gravity, unlike about subject of God and religion. Yes. Everybody recognizes gravity. Everybody feels gravity. So there is, in a way, silent consent about gravity. It's a law. It works in every continent. It works. It's the same gravity. Yes, but also reason. Reason also works in all continents, in all languages. Now we can see in our times, that is computer times or communication times, depends how we call it, systems are working according to reason. Yes, 1 and 0, this is how computer works. Yes, when we go to huge airport, those are systems. When people go to supermarkets, huge supermarkets, those are systems. We have transportation systems, we have airplanes, all of those are systems. Yes, and systems are working according to reason, step by step. So, again, what does the Bible speak about in Genesis 1? About reason. And what is the tohu? What is the chaos? Yes, is non-reason. Yeah, reason and non-reason. Yes. So the beginning starts with the voice of reason. And when things going according to reason, there's a lot of peace accommodated. This is why God, yes, rests, so to speak, in the seventh day. Social media is a good example of tohu. Yes, social media is a very good example for tohu. Yes. Wonder, yes. That's it. That's it. If people would work only according to reason, life would be more contained. But this is it. This is the beginning. Tohu. A lot of noise, very little reason. Yes. Yes. Reason comes with silence. Reason comes with peace. Yes? When we speak to people reason, everything sits. Yes? Like the Ark of Noah rested in the 7th month. Vatanachateva, now we move to Noah, 10 generations, so to speak, after Adam. Vatanachateva, Vatanach, 1 second. Vatanachateva, בחודש השביעי. And yes, the ark rested in the 7th month, but not just the ark, because teva is a parallel term for word in Hebrew. Teva and milah are parallel words. Word in English, teva in Hebrew, or milah are the same. So what does it mean that the ark of Noah rested in the seventh month. Yes? The Word was resting. This is the meaning of this verse. The Word was resting in the seventh month. And what is the seventh? Hashavi'i, the soul. Not just the Word is resting, also the soul. So the Word rests where? The Word can rest in the soul, because the soul is the seventh, so to speak. Shabihi. The Word can rest in the soul. This is where the Word can rest. When there's a space. Sometimes during our hectic days, we're trying to catch and to speak as fast as mechanical systems are working. And we try to speak as fast, and sometimes there's a chaos in the speech. Whether we try to speak, but it doesn't come out properly. Yes, because the word is not resting. This is a very interesting topic to follow. Resting is reason. Yes, resting is reason, like, yes, resting is reason, and also season is a reason. A reason is a season. That's also, we have this also winter in the North Hemisphere. This is the beginning of winter, and the content of winter is basically a resting season. We cannot move that much, and things can settle. Yes, usually people write a lot because cannot go outside. Reason always implies a sequence of events, or in or in order. Yes, reason. This is also similar to ratzon, reason, ratzon, will, and the will is reason. All the creation of the worlds, though people do not think about this daily, there is a reason. There is behind all of what is happening. Yes, creation is happening through us. Life are happening through us because we are a manifestation of a divine will. Hello, Fernando. I feel a resting mindset. Yes, being here. Shalom, shalom. So, there is a reason for all of us to be here. What is the reason? Ratzon. There is a divine will that all of us will be here now. All of us. Because through us, life is happening. It's not that we are making our lives. Yes? But through us, life is happening. Through life, the heart is beating, there's a speech, there's friendship, there is care. People are walking on the shore. It is through us, human, animals, trees, yes? Through us, life is happening. Yes. We are not the makers of life, but through us, life is happening. And go back to the basic, Vayehi or, this is, and there was a light. This is the light of reason. In a way, we are living in unreasonable times because people let their attention go outside, yes, to the social media or to the general media, and there's every moment a breaking news. This is amazing. Every moment there's a breaking news with commercials. This is not reason, this is border insanity. So if we want to go back to the basic and to the reason, we have to to keep a distance. Yes? It breaks the brain. Yes. Yes. Look at nature. Nature has its own reason, has its own pace. Yes? Life according to nature. This is the beat of nature. People, because they have distorted brains, they always want to accelerate and double speed and make the, how do you say, AI even faster, make your robot even faster. We don't achieve anything, yes, by accelerating. Because we lose the rest. What is the rest? We lose the rest, we lose the seventh day, we lose the reason, we lose the word while accelerating. From zero to hero, yes, yes. People develop a lot of anxieties because they always look outside what the others are doing on TVs, on screens, on TikTok, and they develop anxieties to such levels that they develop tics because it breaks them completely. So it's better off, in a way, to keep a distance from all of this and to live life according to the rhythm of nature, because nature has a reason. And if we lose this contact, how do you say, the relation to nature, it's good to find a relation back. Watching birds or the ocean rarely makes people, yes, ambitious or competitive. Yes, because this is what, yes, nature is just being. Yes, when people usually look at other people, they will, something in them will turn on like a match, and they will measure themselves according to the other. Yes, and there will be a rivalry. Yes, even if we don't admit it, this is what will happen. But when we shall watch the ocean or see the birds or the seagulls are flying next to the windows, we don't feel rivalry. We don't feel that we need to do anything. Yes, to compensate, to do it faster, to do it harder, to do it smarter. Because we feel part of nature. Only with other people we feel rivalry. So how do we go back or return to the basic? Vehi o. Yes, this is the voice of reason. And when and during the day, if we find ourselves in like a loop or vertigo of things when everything is just spinning, and we're just reacting, and this reacting to things is just make everything harder or unpleasant. So we just what? We concise, meaning to go back inside. Yes, concise to the middle point, to silence. And we can ask ourselves, what am I doing here? Is all of this necessary? Do I need that? Do I need to be here? Do I wish to be here? And just simple question, which is coming to the center of ourselves, can clarify and reduce a lot of negativity. Because the more we shall go outside, the more nervous we shall come and uncomfortable. Yes, because this is not the element to go outside all the time, to go for the two. Like to go all the time with the eyes two out and then something to get or something to do. Yes, but when we want to retreat or to see, to find reason, just to go inside ourselves in silence. And there we discover that we never left this silence. We never left the Aleph. Because all the Bereshit, all the phenomenon, is just something which is temporal. And when we are exhausted, so to speak, from all of those happening, we discover that inside we have never left, so to speak. Our attention, our senses, yes, went outside, and our senses are considered to be slaves. Filon speaks about it, the senses, yes, removing the imaginary, yes, expulsion from the garden. Yes, yes. When the senses are governing, the eyes, they want to go out there to the light, the ears, they want to hear, and our senses are like slaves. If we have this tendency to go only by the senses, in a way we are becoming slaves to the sensations that comes from the senses. Yes, but we have slaves and we have the sovereign. The sovereign is the soul. The sovereign is the reason. The sovereign is the silent Aleph or the space bar. So, of course, there is a tendency that Chushim, this is interesting, senses, yes. What happened to the original vessel of the first luminaire? I don't quite understand, Venus. Try to rephrase if I would like to answer. I would like to speak about senses, Chushim. Chushim are senses. Chushim are senses. Chushim. How shall I do it? Let's try to Chushim. Yes, Chushim. From Chash, senses. Chash is to sense, to feel. But Chash in Hebrew, it means also going faster. Meaning, when people are hurrying, we say Chash. Chash in Hebrew is not just sense or feels, but also is moving faster. When we are subordinate, like Chashmal, excellent. Like Chashmal, electricity, excellent. So if, yes, we let our senses lead, we are getting electrified, yes, by the input of the senses. And immediately we go out there to the duality. The eyes wants to see the light, and the eyes are convinced that what they see is the absolute truth, and so on. And the ears, they want to go, yes, electrified cat, yes. So immediately, when we are subordinate ourselves to the senses, we become what? Slaves. We are being enslaved to the senses. Yes? The eyes wants to get the most beautiful things, yes, to be in the beautiful restaurants, to see the beautiful tables, the beautiful cups, and so there is no need for me now to go into details. But this is a very dangerous situation in which we become slave to the senses. Yes? Chushim, they feel, but they also accelerate us from Chashmal. Immediately there is electricity, how do you say, a circuit, and a out, like a cat on a bird. I want to get it. There is no even a discussion. Yes, there is not even a negotiation or agreement. This is how the system works. The cat sees the birds, is on it, and this is it. We are like this. We are programmed like this. And This is the really fast way to become slaves, because we turn to be slaves of the senses. Yes? And in the process of following the senses, we're losing our sovereignty. We're losing the reason. We're losing the silence. And then the souls disappear. The soul does not want to have any connection with what is happening. And then we feel lost somewhere in a mall. The philosopher, yes, Epictetus once said, it's very easy to leave the realm of what's appropriate. He gives the example of a simple shoe that does the purpose of covering the foot. But then there are shoes with diamonds and expensive ornaments, etc. And it leaves all realm of reason. Yes, yes. When is the measure? Yes, Amma is the measure. Amma is a cubit. This is how Noah also, the Bible describes building of the ark in the measure of Amma. The measure. It's good to have measures in life. But before we notice, there is no measure. Let's go for the next ride somewhere. Let's take even faster airplane. How do you say? Far destination. Why not? This is what people do. This is life. And then we find ourselves in awkward moments in which we have no control at all. Foreign countries, foreign police, all kinds of weird situations. Like eating a meal is good, but then we need a restaurant and then better tablecloths and more. Yes? Yes, Michelin stars. Yes. It's not enough to eat a slice of bread like a student. Yes. But more and more when it's going to end. Yes. And people go outside. And when people go too much outside to the wilderness, to the world, but this is a wilderness of senses, people gradually lose sanity. This is what people do. They just go for the outside. They become slaves. Yes. And with it, there is a loss of sanity. Yes, Fernando, about Chashmal, I think that it happens also with the work. Here in Brazil, we have an expression that speaks like my work is my drug, as if says I feel drunk while doing this, as if something good. People are always looking for next client. Oh dear, oh mine. Oh dear, oh mine. Client in Hebrew holds the letters of Cain. If I write client in Hebrew, I get the letters of Cain. Yes. Alcoholics. Yes. They will come, the clients. You don't need to hunt them, But since everybody does it, so this is what we do as well. Yes, people praise. Yes. People will always praise. Yes, horizontal things. Yes, the many. Yes. Yes. That's correct. So what did we learn today? Yes, that Vayehi Or, which is mentioned in Genesis 1, is the light of reason. This is what is all Genesis 1 is about. It's not about the creation of mountains, of rivers and forests or animals, but the appearance of reason. Yes, from the dark alleys of the unenlightened mind. Yes, we have all kinds of presumptions. We presume things, but then comes the voice of reason, the fact. This is Vayehi O. Yes, and Vayehi O comes from the ability to speak. And God says, And God said, let there be light. Vayomer Elohim yehi or. This is the voice of reason. And the voice of reason comes through speech. Yes? When we take the time to speak. When the word can rest. And the word can rest only in the seventh, only in the mouth, which is the seventh center opening in our face, but also in the seventh, I would say, place in which the soul can rest. Yes. So, ותנח התיבה בחודש השביעי, and the ark rested in the seventh month. It's not just external ark, because teiva is a parallel term for a word in Hebrew, milah. The word can rest, yes, in the seventh month or in the seventh opening in the speech, which comes through the mouth. Questions so far? So if there aren't any questions at the moment, I would like to wish all of us a very good year, a very good week, a very pleasant season, and we shall meet here on Thursday. Thank you so much, and shalom, shalom. Thank you.